Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard the Chicago Bulls front office come out and say that they're not interested in the rebuild. But if we just listening to them, we already know we can't put much faith in it. But I'm here to still ask the question. I know what I heard, but I'm still here to ask the question. Should the Chicago Bulls really be interested in the rebuild? I don't know. But you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Bulls Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, holding it down on another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast for me and my co-host, C-Dub. If you like what you're listening to today, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, y'all already know I posed the question right there in that intro. Should the Chicago Bulls consider rebuilding this team? And I'm gonna flat out come out and say right on early, no, not yet. I believe we still gotta have a little patience as Chicago fans, whether it's Chicago sports fans, whether that's Bulls, Bears, White Sox, Cubs. It is what it is. We want everything now. We want the success now. So I say no. I mean, don't get me wrong. This season, it sucked. The end of the last season, the way it went down, it sucked. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that it's time right now. And many people out there believe that it is time to rebuild. And I can feel it. On one end, I can honestly feel it. But I can, you know what I'm saying? And I can see why a lot of people feeling that way. Simply because in the last 3 years, the Chicago Bulls, they had a season to where, you know what I'm saying, AK in 2022 came in mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Didn't do a thing. Then go ahead and brought some players in, build a playoff contending team. We went up in there. We made the playoffs, got bounced to 5. And then right now, we were sold that we're moving in the right direction to go ahead and win a playoff series. And we end up winning one play-in game and missing the playoffs as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly see why some people feel that way, why they feel that it's not good enough. The team has been mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Simply because another issue that we've seen, the roster construction, it isn't the best. And it's not what the roster should look like to win in today's NBA. And that's just what it is. And these guys, the front office, they've been trying to fix the issues for the past 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? We're shooting inside. That's something that nobody was surprised by, that, when it came down to the needs of what the team needs, nobody was surprised to say, hey, when you watch the game, the Bulls lack shooting and they lack size against most teams on most nights. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But even with all that saying, and all that being said, I'm still not of the mindset that you subtract from what you got, especially a star. You try to add to that to see what you could do. Everybody know right out the gate that Zach LaVine is much better with the ball not in his hands to try to initiate some offense. It's not the best way. We seen him in those 35 games with Lonzo Ball. When he was lined up next to Zach LaVine was playing extremely well. He was being one of those top shooting guards in the league. So I would say that's somebody that you could continue to build around. No, it's unfortunate that Lonzo Ball did get injured, but that's what it really is. You know what I'm saying? A point guard that was necessary, you know what I'm saying? Necessary to the offense, a high IQ guy, a guy that was out there that could pretty much help the team move forward and push the pace on every single night. That was in Lonzo Ball. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a lot to be, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of questions, you know what I'm saying, that we got going into this offseason. Right now, we get to let it all soak in because, to be honest, I'm still upset with the performance that I've seen from the Chicago Bulls the other night. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You let that all marinate, and then at the end of the day, once the summer comes, the front office, they're going to have to push through. And that's just what it really is. They will have to push through. Me personally, I think that the first changes should start with the core. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe everyone can stay. I believe the Bulls should come down to if they want to keep DeMar or keep Vooch. I don't want to see this trio again. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think there are players that are more deserving, you know what I'm saying, at least that are on the team, that are more deserving to see if they can exceed in those, in an increased role. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a guy like Patrick Williams came around towards the end of the season and was able to look more better on the court, get more fluid with his moves. And I think that he could continue to improve on that. But I think there is a roadblock on the Chicago Bulls, and that's one of the big three. You know what I'm saying? I would say you it's definite that you have to keep Zach LaVine. So that's why it comes down to DeMar DeRozan or Nikola Vucevic. And that's not for me to decide. I have a personal preference, but it is what it is. But with all that said, with trying to get rid of one of those guys, you still have to consider how can you add. If you're gonna subtract, you still got to find a way to add. You know what I'm saying? So the math got to math. You know what I'm saying? In other words, it got to all make sense. You know what I'm saying? We seen a team with the legit point guard. So that's one of the reasons why I say it's not time to rebuild. We seen a team with the legit point guard and how everything ran, even with the big three. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. If they the front office, do you keep the big three intact and just go and get you a point guard? I don't know. Do you keep two of the three? Do you keep one of the three? You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that they will have to do. But I would say the time is not right now. I would see how can the Chicago Bulls look into getting a point guard who can help push the pace, defend, have great communication, and initiate some offense. And I believe there's some guys out there. You know what I'm saying? Another reason why I say it's not time to go into a rebuild. You know what I'm saying? The Bulls have assets to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we in the bind right now with the draft situation. You know what I'm saying? We in a tough spot. Our chances to get in the top four are very, 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 very slim. And we know the luck of the Chicago Bulls. Knowing our luck, we need to land at 4. The Bulls pick a land at 5. And we'll be all with the poo-poo face. That's why I came on yesterday and told y'all, let's all remain even kill. Let's see what happens. Yes, we see that the odds have increased, but it is what it is at this particular moment, so we leave it. But once you give up this draft pick, you still should be in a good enough position moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Just moving forward, and that's what it really is. Then the Chicago Bulls, another reason why we shouldn't be going into a full rebuild is because we have 8 free agents, so there will be more money on the table to use for other prospects or other players to come through the door. You know what I'm saying? It's 8 free agents, bro. 8 free agents. You got Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White, Derrick Jones Jr., Andre Drummond, Javante Green, Ayo Dosunmu, Pat Bev. You know what I'm saying? The other 2 guys, they're two-way players. But those are some of the guys that you have coming up on contracts. And me personally, it's got to be some tough decisions and some hard thought out stuff. No matter how much you love some of these players, you got to go ahead and make a decision what's best for the franchise moving forward. You can't just say because I like you, I need to bring you back. You need to see how that player has performed this season and how can they improve, and do you have the faith that they will improve moving forward? That's some things that you got to look into. You know what I'm saying? And there will be some good free agents out there, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're looking at point guards, you got Dennis Schroeder from LA. I like him. I think he's solid defensively. I think that he can hit a 3-point shot when you need him to. As you seen that he hit it and did the ice in the vein celebration not too long ago. You got Fred VanVleet if he opts out. And then you got D'Angelo Russell. So the Bulls will have some options. Obviously, it's going to cost some money, and it's going to take for the Chicago Bulls to do a number of things because you know what I'm saying. Can you go into the NBA office and petition for the career-ending exception thingy? You know what I'm saying, something like that. What do you do? And then there's still other guys that you can look around to try to improve the shooting and improve the size. You got Karis LeVert, offensive weapon. He can come off the bench and add to your team. Gary Trent Jr., that's a 3-point shooter that you can add. Christian Woods, that's a big guy. That's another piece that you can add to a team. And then y'all favorite guy who y'all wanted to trade for last year, and Jeremy Grant. He's gonna be available. And then you can look at other shooters like Seth Curry. So it's not 100% over with, but it's definitely some pieces you can look into, especially some of those point guards, because we've seen what even having a point guard who is not the best, you know what I'm saying? But Pat Bev, he made the offense look a little bit different. But you know what I'm saying? For so long, it's only so much that he could do with his skill set and what he brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? No team really sees Pat Bev as a starting point guard. You know what I'm saying? But in the situation of the Chicago Bulls, they felt it was necessary to do so. And it was okay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. It was okay. And it provided some interest into the rest of the season. So that's just what it is. And we got to take that for what it really is. Now, and just to end it off, man, for the people that's still on board with the rebuild, I'm going to just say this, bro. Just because you test something down doesn't mean that the turnaround is going to be fast. You know what I'm saying? If the Chicago Bulls, let's just say the Chicago Bulls go some of y'all route, not all of y'all, but some of y'all route, and trade Zach LaVine and get rid of DeMar DeRozan and just go complete rebuild. Who's to say that this team is going to turn around within the next 3 or 4 years? Within the next 3 or 4 years. Look, y'all, I get it. You know, Tom Thibodeau, his first year with the New York Knicks, missed the playoffs, I believe, and then he made the playoffs and he missed them again. And now he's right back and much more improved. They improved the team. They didn't tear it all down. They seen that they made the playoffs with a Julius Randle, with a RJ Barrett, and a Mitchell Robinson, and some pieces that was there. They missed the playoffs last season. Then they come in, you add Jalen Brunson, you add Isaiah Hartenstein, you let Quickly improve a little bit more. You let Obi Toppin improve a little bit more. You got Grimes now, who you go win out there and develop. And they retooled their roster. And now they're a good team, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs, and didn't have to make the playoffs by going through the play-in. And they got a good chance of winning their series against the Cleveland Cavs. So we got to go ahead and be, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more even keel, be a little bit more patient. I know it's hard to believe it, but you get, no championship contender has been built by this front office, but a playoff contender has been built. So they still got a few more bites at the apple, and that's just keeping it a buck. And then if we continue to push on with the 76, if we looking at people who tanked or people who went in for rebuild, look at the 76ers. Look how many players they drafted. Jahlil Okafor, Markelle Fultz, and a bunch of other players that are not even on the team anymore. And the only good thing after all those years you got left is Joel Embiid. Come on, y'all. Look at the Detroit Pistons. They've been rebuilding for a while too. Yeah, they got nice young pieces now, but they're still going to be at the bottom of the league until those young pieces develop a little bit more, or you can somehow convince some good vets to come there and play to help them, you know, expedite their growth. But there's still going to be some growing pains with them. We're looking at the Charlotte Hornets. You know what I'm saying? They going through what they going through for a while now. You got the Houston Rockets. Ever since James Harden left, they just fired their head coach. So it's not going to all be sweet. That's why you don't fully tear it down. It's going to be some people out there who believe that you can just simply go out here and find another replacement for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, he has his issues. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that many people in the league that is as talented as a Zach LaVine. And that's just what it is. And if you take some things away from him, you should, you know what I'm saying, ball handling, and you provide some help with good point guard play, you should be able to build around him and allow him to do things. You know what I'm saying? For him to take another step. And that's just what it is. So no, the Chicago Bulls should not go into a rebuild. We need to stop that. We need to retool, and we just need to, we don't have a choice but to trust the front office. If I'm keeping it a buck with you, we don't have a choice but to support the front office because they ain't going nowhere. It's reported that everybody received contract extensions, not just Billy Donovan. But hey, if y'all enjoy what y'all heard today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hey, if you want to be a part of any mailbag episodes, go ahead and send a text message or a voicemail to that number, 773-242-9219. It's another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on next one.
Cognac. Gang.